Jai Hind children. Hope you all are doing fine at home. So we have already started this chapter, tracing changes through 1,000 years, and in the previous module we had discussed about two maps. One was made by Al-Idrisi and the next map was by a French cartographer, and we have also understood what the differences were between the two. The next topic is new and old terminologies. So, if the context in which information is produced changes with time, the language, the meaning, the vocabulary, everything changes. So, a number of examples have been given, and we will see how, if we talk about medieval Persian, it is quite and it is very different from the modern Persian. The difference is not just with the grammar and the vocabulary, the meanings of the words also change with the passage of time. Next is take the example of Hindustan. Today we understand it as India, like the modern state, but if we talk about the time in 13th century, Minhaji Siraj, who was a chronicler and who wrote in Persian, he meant the areas of Punjab, Haryana and the lands between Ganga and Yamuna. He used the term in a political sense for lands that were part of the domain of the Delhi Sultans. The areas included in this term shifted with the extent of the sultans, but the term never included South India. So, Miraji Siraj was a French who was he wrote in Persian, and he said that Hindustan meant the areas between Punjab, Haryana and the lands between Ganga and Yamuna. Next, if we take the example of Babur. So, in the 16th century, Babur used Hindustan to describe the geography, the fauna and the culture of the inhabitants of subcontinent. Then it is given the example of 14th century poet, that is Amir Khusro, and he used the word Hind. And in this, the idea of a geographical and cultural entity like India was there. The term Hindustan did not carry the same meaning or the same like as we associated Hindustan with today's context. So, in different centuries, Hindustan meant different things. The next topic is the meaning of the word foreigner. So, if we take the word foreigner today, it means somebody who is not an Indian, somebody who lives outside. But in those times, in the medieval period, foreigner meant a person or somebody who is a stranger who appeared in a given village. So, a person who is coming from, say for example, a city is coming to the village. So, he becomes a foreigner in that place. A city dweller therefore might be regarded a forest dweller as a foreigner, but two people living in the same village were not foreigners. The next topic is historians and their sources. We all have learnt and we know that historians use different types of sources to learn about the past depending upon the period of the study and the nature of their investigation. For example, we have learnt in class 6 about Gupta dynasty, and let us move further. So, we will notice that some continuity in the process used by the historians. There is some continuity, but they still rely on coins, then inscriptions, architecture and textual record for information, for collection of information. But there is also considerable discontinuity. The number and the variety of textual records it increased dramatically during this period. They slowly displaced other types of available information. Then when there was paper, when paper became cheap and became more widely available, people used to write holy text, then lives of the rulers, teachings of the saint and so on. Manuscripts were collected by wealthy people, the rulers, monasteries and temples. There were also these manuscripts were also placed in libraries and archive. Now, what is an archive? An archive is a place where documents and manuscripts are basically stored. These manuscripts and documents, they used to provide detailed information to the historians, but they were also difficult to use. Now, if we talk about the past, there were no printing press in those days. So, scribes, there were people who were called as scribes who copied the manuscripts by hand. So, there was a huge problem after this. What happened? If we try to copy a friend's homework, or we know that there might be some changes. For example, the handwriting we might not understand. So, small but significant differences would appear if we even copy from a friend's work. Manuscript copying was also somewhat similar, as scribes copied the manuscripts. They tried to introduce small changes, a word here, a sentence there, and these small differences, they grew over centuries, and copying of manuscripts just they changed the nature of that text. So, this is a very serious problem because we rarely find original manuscripts of that author today, and so we are totally dependent upon the copies which were made by the later scribes. As a result, historians had to read different manuscript versions of the same text to get what the original author had written. This is for the second module. We will be discussing about the doubts in the next one. Till then, Jai Hind.